Welcome to Redacted Tonight. This is the comedy show where Americans in America covering American news are called foreign agents. Donald Trump will probably win re-election. And I take no pride in saying that. I am not excited to see another 4 years from the most corrupt, incompetent, megalomaniacal man-child this country has ever seen. And no, the reason he'll win is not just because Joe Biden happens to be the most pathetic candidate the Democratic Party has ever put up since Hillary Clinton way back in... Was that only 4 years ago? Dear God! Seems like 900. Is life slowing down, speeding up? Are we in purgatory? Is this purgatory? Sorry, this isn't even in the script. I'm just having a breakdown. No, Donald Trump will likely win re-election because nearly 17 million Americans have been purged from voter rolls over the past 4 years. And your corporate media doesn't have the balls or the vaginas or the hermaphroditic mystery parts to talk about it. Investigative reporter Greg Palast, the man who discovered how Bush stole the presidency in 2000, the guy who discovered how the Deepwater Horizon oil spill actually happened, the guy who revealed how California was stolen from Bernie Sanders by forcing provisional ballots on everyone, and the guy who discovered where I left my underwear that crazy night in Vegas. That guy has uncovered yet another way our sham democracy has been rigged. And he reveals it in his new book, How Trump Stole 2020. Between 2014 and 2016, the number of voters purged from moving their residence had soared to 16,696,470. 1 in 12 registered Americans. Over 16.5 million Americans. And guess what? Most of them didn't actually move. And almost all of them didn't actually move out of their state, meaning almost all of them, 16.7 million people, should be able to vote, but won't be allowed to when they show up to the polling place in November. To give you an idea of just how much 16.7 million purged voters could matter in this year's election, Trump won the state of Michigan against Hillary Clinton in 2016 by 10,704 votes. That's 0.065% of the number of people purged across the nation for moving residences when they didn't really move. And please, please, please keep in mind, I am not saying anything wonderful about Hillary Clinton or Joe Biden. That's not the point. I just want a legit election. So I will call out all election meddling. I'll call out fraud, suppression, all of it. Whether it comes from the GOP, the DNC, the CIA, Run DMC, I don't give a fuck. I just want an actual election. Please, please, please. I just don't know why you won't let us have an election. I just want... Well, that's not true. I actually do know it's because you corrupt sociopaths who don't want to give up control, but still, please. I mean, 16.7 million? That's too many. That's really too many. It's too many. Actually, it's a lot more than 16.7 million, because that's just the people who were purged for supposedly changing residences when they didn't. That's not even counting the people purged by way of interstate cross-check, which I've covered before on the show, or purged by way of closed polling places, or thrown out mail-in votes, etc. Yes, even though some people right now are pushing for a complete mail-in election this coming November due to the pandemic, Greg Palast reports mail-in ballots are a nightmare. 22% are thrown out. Moved to 80% mail-in voting, and 25 million people would lose their votes. The powers that be can throw out mail-in ballots for anything. It doesn't matter. It could be that the signature doesn't quite match, or it could be that the person had a stray mark or a rogue booger on the page, or maybe they just barely, hardly at all, wiped their ass a little bit with the ballot. Just a little. When it's Donald Trump versus Joe Biden, can you blame them? Can you blame them? Just a little bit? Sure! Of course you wipe your ass a little bit with the ballot when you're alone in that booth with the curtain closed. Why would you not? Why would you not? Here's another example from Palace's new book. Korean Americans were asked to sign their mail-in ballots like everyone else. Thousands of them signed their name in Korean, their native language. All of those were thrown out, every last one. Because you know what? Fuck people from other countries, am I right? With their languages and stuff. If they wanted to be treated like human beings, then maybe they shouldn't have migrated to the land of opportunity, morons. We didn't promise equality, we promised opportunity. They have the opportunity to be oppressed, to be maligned, to be discriminated against, the opportunity to have mildly racist, stereotypical portrayals in movies and television, all kinds of opportunities. They've got opportunities out the wazoo and wazoo up the yin-yang, with yin-yang out the hoo-ha. So once you know that so many Americans, mostly minorities and young people, will be disenfranchised, you have to ask, where in the fuck is the Democratic Party? Why aren't they acting like their panties are in a bunch, their hair's on fire, and their balls are in a vice grip? Why not? Well, as with everything involving the Democrats, it's a beautiful combination, a creme brulee of incompetence and corruption. It's a crime brulee. Some of the voter suppression that they don't know about, they then find out and they think, let's not make it a big issue. Because if we do, people will start asking about the primary elections too, and we totally rigged those against Bernie Sanders. Oh man, did we fuck him over? Wow. So let's not discuss the kicking of voters off the rolls and the such. It's a real can of worms. So instead, they and the liberal-aligned media never talk about the millions of Americans purged from the rolls. Millions. It's insane. 1 out of 12 voters. It's insane. It's ridiculous. It's pathetic. We all have a right to participate in this democracy. We have a right to that ballot, and we have a right to wipe our ass with it. Coming to you from Washington, D.C., the Belly of the Beast is redacted tonight. Let's roll!